My name correctly, Ray?
Hello, Bill. Good to see you. We're here with Billy Miles, Australia's leading referee for many years and the most successful referee. He refereed 30 world title fights, which hasn't even come close to by any other referee. Now, Bill, the last fight you refereed was in October the 20th, 2001. You refereed Anthony Mundine when he stopped Guy Waters at the E.G. Whitlam Centre in Liverpool.
That's correct.
Can you tell me your memories of that fight?
Yeah, pretty good. Anthony was too good for Guy. Really, he was too good for Guy. He certainly knocked Guy Waters out. He was gone. But it was the antics that he went on with after. Normally, you'd knock somebody out. You'd be a little bit caring. You'd be a little bit concerned. But Anthony jumped up on the second rope or something, and he's going with the cutthroat, and that sort of turned me off being involved in the game at that level anymore. Right?
At that stage, Bill, did you have thoughts about retiring before that, or was that just the icing on the cake?
I'd be like a lot of you blokes. I'd still be around. But, But I would have judged after that, but I never refereed again.
Never refereed. Now, Bill, you did referee several world title fights, but probably the highest profile fights that you did were the Kostya Tszyu world title fights.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to work with you on those fights. But September the 14th, 1996, Kostya Tszyu knocked out the South African, Jan Bergman, who had 32 fights, was unbeaten in 32 fights.
Jan Bergman was going to teach Costa a lesson.
That's right.
Wasn't in the race. But we always mention Costa, but I have great memories of people like Barry Michaels, Lester Ellis, in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And I was very lucky to be invited to referee down in Melbourne. They had their own referees.
That's right.
But,
the IBF appointed you, and you refereed Barry Michael and Mark Fernandez. IBF junior lightweight tournament. And he's one of our greats, there's no doubt about that, Bill.
Barry was one of the best thinkers that I come across.
He used to talk to his opponents throughout fights.
Yeah.
So he beat them upstairs, and then beat outbox them and outwork them in the ring. Now, Kostya Tszyu, on May 24th, 1996, he knocked out in 4 rounds Corey Johnson from the USA, who had 22 fights and won 20 fights. And that fight was at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. Stopped him at 1 minute 21 seconds of the round.
Yeah.
You remember Corey Johnson? He had fought a draw with Shannon Taylor in Ireland.
That's right. But they come up against Costa, and you've got to remember, Costa had something like 200 amateur fights or something.
Exactly.
At high level fights.
That's right.
Through Europe and all those sort of places. So Costa was pretty experienced. And Costa was so focused. He had brown eyes, and all I can remember when I refereed Costa was the brown eyes, and they never went anywhere else but on his opponent.
Totally focused.
Absolutely.
100%. Then we got January the 10th, 1996, same year, Kostya Tszyu stopped a Colombian, Hugo Pineda, in 11 rounds.
Newcastle.
And that was at Parramatta Stadium.
Parramatta, that's right.
Remember torrential rain that night?
It rained, didn't it? Yeah.
They had to change the canvas. Remember that, Bill?
Funny thing, I think that was the day McDougall coming at us swimming in the pool at Westwood Park.
He could have swum at Parramatta.
Parramatta, that was a great.
What a great fight!
It was a great night. Yeah.
It was a great fight. Remember, Pineda had Costa down early in the fight.
Second
Flash
round.
knocked down.
Yeah, knocked him down. I put the count in.
That's right, exactly. Yeah. But Kostya got up to beat 6'1" Hugo Pineda.
Yeah, tall, lanky.
Who went on to fight as a cruiserweight.
Did he really?
Later on, yeah.
I don't know what happens to half these blokes when they go back. Right?
Yeah.
I have no idea. But Pineda.
Now, the previous year, Kostya Tszyu made the first defence of his world title against Roger Mayweather, the uncle of Floyd Mayweather. That was at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre. So points decision to Kostya Tszyu. Can you remember that fight? Your memories of that fight, Bill?
I refereed that fight, didn't I?
You did?
And it was, look, let me tell you something. The American chap came out here to survive.
Yeah.
He hung on, and it was all to do with experience. But he wasn't in the same class as Costa.
No. Though he had been a great fighter.
He might have been earlier in his life.
Been a
but
former world champion.
At that stage of his career, Costa was the up-and-coming champion.
That's right. He held on to survive, Roger
And
Mayweather.
Costa could punch him.
He certainly could. Now, Bill, I want to go through some fighters that you refereed, your memories of. You remember Larry Valentini?
I do remember Larry. Yeah.
Larry was a little walk-up fighter.
Yeah.
Tough little nut.
Smithville boy.
That's
Fairfield
him.
boy.
That's correct.
A tough nut he was.
Yeah. He was.
Even outside of the ring, he was.
He had to go anywhere, Larry. Wally Carr, wait a while, Wally Carr.
Brilliant. Yeah. Another Aboriginal boy who had all the talent in the world.
He went into the Hall of Fame same year as you, Bill.
Had all the talent in the world. But
what about Bryony Roberts?
Oh, Brian Roberts, another Aboriginal boy.
Yeah. Fought Azuma Nelson in Africa.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And Brian Roberts, very good.
Aboriginals had natural talents.
Yeah.
They just didn't have the same drive as, say, you might say about an American Negro wanting to be better than whatever.
That's right.
But they had boxing talent. Aboriginals had it all.
Now, another little guy who turned into a very good referee that you refereed several times was Gary Dean.
Gary from Cronulla.
Yeah.
Gary, I did his title fights. That was an open.
Gary was a New South Wales champion.
Gary was trained by Andy Whittle.
Exactly
and,
right.
Come from Cronulla and that area, and there was a big open air show, and he fought. I can't remember who he fought. It was very hot on that day.
Roy Carroll.
Yeah, Roy Carroll.
Roger Carroll.
Roger Carroll.
Roger Carroll.
And Roger wasn't a bad boy, I can tell you.
He was very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Now, one of the greats of the ring that you refereed was Sharky Raymond.
Oh, yes, sir.
The great Sharky Raymond.
That was a great pleasure.
Yeah, well, he
It was
turned.
a great pleasure.
Was an uncrowned world champion. Another guy that won a Commonwealth title, Jeff the Flash Malcolm. Very clever southpaw.
Let me tell you about Jeffrey Malcolm. Jeffrey Malcolm could do anything.
He was. He
Could
was
do
genius.
it. But I honestly don't think he took it seriously.
No.
I really don't. But he could do anything, Jeffrey.
He was very
brilliant.
clever.
Brilliant.
Another guy's very clever, the late Paul Ferrari.
Oh, Paul was a good boxer, my dad.
Fought for the world title. Remember, he fought Zarate.
Zarate. Yeah,
Went longer with Zarate than anyone else. Went 11 rounds with
but he met
Zarate.
Zarate not at a good time.
Yeah.
Zarate was a great champion. And that sort of experience, you're not getting it in Australia, really.
No.
You know, yeah.
Kevin Hogan's one of our great officials,
Kevin Hogan, yeah.
but he was back in the 80s, very good welterweight. One of the best welterweights in Australia. Kevin Hogan. And I think
it's
you know
nice
this.
to hear their names again.
Yeah.
Love it, yeah.
Okay. The married Paul Mauler, Jeff
Oh,
Fanning.
Jeff Fanning,
You've done his debut as a professional against my boy,
Yeah.
Bobby Williams.
Yeah, Jeffrey was as tough as nails.
Yeah.
Another boy that was focused, but as a bantamweight and that, he just had so much strength.
He was a very big bantamweight.
So much strength, and that's what he relied on more than anything. I don't say he was a knockout artist, but he was like a brawler in the sense.
One of the greats
Burn
of
on top,
Australian
yeah,
boxing.
well, he's a three-time world champion.
3 times. Most successful.
You can't get any higher
Most
than
successful boxer we've ever had in the boxing
that.
ring.
I'd have loved him being one.
Yeah. Now, you refereed Guy Waters and Troy Waters.
The Waters boys.
Yeah.
Now there's a group of boys. I
Waters?
refereed the three of them.
You've done them all.
They're all nice boys. Their dad was a bit of a hard master.
Yeah,
But all had ability.
Yeah.
But of the three of them, I had to pick Troy
He was
as
outstanding.
having the little bit best.
He was out the late Troy Waters. What a beautiful man. Now, a couple of big guys that you refereed was Joe Bugner, David Bay.
Big Joe, yeah. I told him I didn't want to get between them. I said to him, Joe, you do what I tell you. And David Bay, I think it was. Yeah.
Hand
'Cause
grenade,
was
David
fairly
Bay.
big. And I said to him, look, I said, I don't want to get between you, bloke. So do what you're told. And to their credit, they did. They were good. I think David Bay knocked Joe out, didn't he?
No. Joe Bugner beat him on points.
Beat him on points. Okay, yeah.
Joe Bugner won all his fights out here.
David Bay, yeah. That was at where was it?
That was the entertainment centre.
Where was it?
Entertainment
Yeah,
Centre, yeah.
Darling Harbour, yeah.
The Bulleye Blaster, Shannon Taylor.
Showed another tough nut. Another hard guy.
He beat several world champions. 5 world champions, I think he beat.
But Shannon was a bloke in the ring. I don't know what he was like outside of it, but in the ring he wouldn't give up.
No,
Shannon wouldn't give up.
he was very aggressive,
Yeah.
very strong at his best.
Angry.
Now, a guy that was a silver medalist at the Olympics and was a good pro, very good pro, Graham Spike Cheney,
Oh, yeah. He was a good boy.
was a silver medalist at the South Korean Games.
Yeah. But he was educated amateur,
Yeah, that's right.
okay? And when you get into the pro ranks, you've got to have a little bit of something else. Yeah, I
He
don't
wasn't
say-
quite
I
as
don't-
good as a pro as he was as an
No,
amateur.
I don't say I
Well,
had that little extra.
he actually went further in the amateur ranks than any other Australian.
That's right.
Win the silver medal.
Yeah. Outside of Madigan, I think he's the only one that's won a medal.
Well, Madigan never won. He won a bronze.
Bronze medal, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're
yeah.
the only two Australians that have won medals. I think
Our biggest man to win a world title, Jeff the Hitman Hardy, the referee him.
lovely boy. Lovely boy.
How good was he?
Yeah. I'm going to catch up with these blokes. I'd love to say hello to them.
We're going to arrange
Jeffrey.
it. Bill.
Yeah.
Now, the
Hey,
fighting lawyer, Love More Than Do, was
Hang on a minute.
world champion.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah,
Jeffrey would look you in the face and tell you.
he would too. Yeah, whatever on his mind, he would tell you.
Yeah.
Now, the fighting referee, the fighting lawyer,
Yeah.
Love More Than Do, who won
Great.
a world title.
Brilliant.
Brilliant, great
Brilliant.
fighter, and a brilliant man.
Well educated, well taught, and lived a good life. He was a good example for boxing.
Ken
very
Salisbury.
good-
Oh, he is. He's a
Good
great.
example for
Yeah,
boxing.
yeah. Ken
Kenny
Salisbury.
Cole, lovely bloke.
Yeah, gentlemen.
Kenny,
You remember the Opera House?
did I referee all of it?
No, that was Sharky.
Shark, that was Sharky.
Sharky done that one.
That was Sharky. Oh, the Opera House. What about that one? Now there's
And Tamalkov.
remind me to bring that up. Yeah, the Opera House was it was a gentleman and ladies place. It wasn't for boxing fans, but it was full. And
Tommy Radonicus, the promoter.
was the promoter. Had a bag full of money sitting on his lap.
I heard that.
Yeah, and he.
Didn't he put John McDougall in charge of it?
I did Malcolm.
Jeff Malcolm's fight.
Jeff Malcolm. That's
Jeff fought that night.
And Thinly Bob, the referee was the fellow you just said.
Sharky Raymond.
Sharky Raymond.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love Sharky, but I don't know whether the situation was such that he sort of lost a little bit of control of it all.
Well, the guy kicked Tamalkov's brother.
He ran across the ring.
Yeah.
I was sitting at ringside next to me was Bernie Hall, and he ran across the ring and
Launched himself.
kicked him, everything.
Karate kick.
And of course, anyone sitting at the back seat of Opera, they ended up down on the friggin' ringside. But
Well, he attacked Ken
it
Salisbury,
went
right?
and I believe that the authority got a letter from the Opera House saying, "Don't ring us,
We'll ring you.
we'll ring you."
That call's never been made, they tell me. Nadal Hussain? Nadal Hussain.
Nadal, yeah.
World-class fighter.
Another brother. They have all the talent in the world.
Yeah, great body puncher.
Some of them don't get the opportunities that some others get. Nadal was very good.
Hussain,
Same, another
his
tough
brother.
his brother.
Another
The whole-
great body
the whole
puncher.
I'd hate to be there on a Sunday or something.
Yeah.
They all disagreed or something.
Nader Hamdan.
Yeah, another nice one.
Yeah, he was
Another gentleman. Yeah,
Aussie champ.
yeah.
The great Sam Solomon, who was world
Yeah,
champion.
he was a clever boy.
Very, very
He was
good.
another clever.
Very
boy.
unorthodox,
Absolutely.
but very effective.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's making a comeback soon.
Is he really?
Yeah, age 47.
No.
Bob Merovic,
Oh, Big Bob.
Big Bob.
Big Bob, yeah.
He fought Joe Bugner.
Joe Bugner. Yeah.
Justin Rousseau.
Justin Rousseau was another clever boy.
Very good, world class.
With Johnny Lewis. But them days, they were all in, like, they were around in Costa's era. and all that. So they were all training together and everything. It was all,
Leonardo Cornet.
yeah, right, Bernardo from Penrith,
Yeah.
St Mary's area. Another good amateur.
Oh, very good amateur.
Good amateur.
And fought for the world title as a pro.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, got his shot.
But it's another level. It's
Carly
another
Meehan.
level, you know. Hey,
The heavyweight, Carly Meehan.
Carly Meehan,
Fought
yeah.
for the world heavyweight title.
The New
Split
Zealand.
decision.
Yeah, New Zealand.
But based out here.
Yeah, Carl. Yeah.
Um,
We did him at down at Darling Harbour, I think.
yeah. Kevin Kelly
Kevin Kelly, yeah, another good
and
guy.
Glenn Kelly, his
Glenn
brother.
Kelly, the brother.
Both
yeah.
fought for world titles.
All from South Sydney boys.
Yeah.
They're good footballers too, I believe.
Yeah, both good footballers. Well, Bill, that's only some of the guys that you refereed.
Good.
Unfortunately, mate, we haven't got time to do them all. But
I
Bill, once again, congratulations. 2010, you're inducted into the Hall of Fame. Couldn't happen to a nicer bloke or a more well-deserving bloke.
Well,
And,
if you was to ask me that question, I'd tell you the same answer. You're right.
and Bill, thanks very much for inviting us up to your place up here at Lake Haven,
Lake Haven?
on the Central Coast. A beautiful area.
It's on the water view, you know.
Yeah. Up here with David Granger. Hello, Dave.
G'day there.
Who is it? David, what's his name?
David Granger.
Yeah, great.
He was on the boxing commission.
He's with the boxing authority.
That's right. Thanks, Billy.
Thank you very much, Roman. It's a pleasure. Anytime, and it's great to talk about them and have the memories.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.